let's begin in a seated position. If you have a block or cushion handy, we'll just take one of those and just pop it underneath the hips. Just take a little pressure off the lower back, and we'll just let the hands relax down onto the knees from there. We'll just take a breath in. As you breathe in, just getting that nice stretch into the chest and into the back upper ribs in particular, and then a nice long exhale. And then again, slow deep breath in, just spiraling up through the spine, so really lengthening upwards, light all the way through to the crown of the head. And then again, just a nice long exhale. We'll start with releasing the neck, so just letting the head move side to side, just very gently, just little micro movements to begin with. As you do that, try to relax the jaw as well. So upper jaw just relaxing a little away from the lower, etc. So just softening around the top of the neck, and then back to center as we bring chin towards the chest, and then with holding onto the knees, we're tucking the pelvis under. So you'll end up rolling back a little bit. So just rounding through the back, and then taking a lean forwards and just bringing the hands in front of the feet. As you know, if this doesn't work for your legs, you can just have them straight out in front. That's fine. And then again, bringing hands back onto the knees, and again, just tucking hips under, chin to chest, and then back up from there. We'll take now the arms up and over. So if we interlace the fingers, push the hands up. As we're just getting warmed up, let's just bring the arms a little forwards of the head so you can see your hands, just so we don't strain the shoulders as we're not quite warmed up just yet. So you're going to push into the hands and then drop the shoulders down away from the ears. If your shoulders are particularly tight, bend the elbows a little bit. Okay, so just one more breath there. And then we'll just bring right hand down, going to take left arm over, so coming into a sideways bend. We're going to pause here, and then we're not going to come lower, but we're going to just try and straighten out through that top arm, that raised arm, just that little bit more. So you start to feel more pull through the rib cage and through the side of the waist. Okay, brilliant. All right, and then release, and then of course to the other side. So coming up and over initially, and then really stretching into the fingertips. That's it, brilliant. So just straightening out through the arm, whatever straight is for you. Just feeling that increased opening through the side rib cage. Good, one more breath. And then just coming all the way back to center. If you've got your legs crossed, we'll just bring the other one in front. Okay, and we'll just come into an open twist. So I've got right hand to right knee, and I'm just letting the left hand move behind. Let that left sitting bone just really sink down onto the floor, so the hips are nice and even for our twist. And then we're just rotating to the left side, chin just level, face relaxed. One more breath. And then just coming all the way back round to the other side now. So breath in, feeling the opening across the chest through the solar plexus area. Also, chin just level to the floor as again you gently twist from there. Lovely. Okay, so one more breath. And then we're just coming again all the way back round from there. All right, let's bring now the soles of the feet together. We'll take hold of the feet or ankles or shins, depending on where you can reach. We're just going to do some very, very tiny movements, just not necessarily bouncing because momentum can hurt the ligaments, but just small movements up and down with the legs, like when a butterfly lands on a leaf and it does that little flutter, that kind of gentle movement. Okay, and then just let the legs drop down, and then we'll take a little bit of a lean forward. So although you'll be feeling the stretch in the hips, we talked about releasing the back in this session, the base of the spine does have to open in order for you to lean forwards. And then just letting the head relax down, so just drawing the chin towards the chest a little as well. Okay. And then we'll just take an inhale to lift. We'll draw the legs back together now. Okay. And then we're hugging the legs with the right arm, taking left hand again to the floor behind you, pressing into the left hand as you twist through the spine. So chin just level to the floor. One more breath and release. Changing sides now. So coming around the other way. Breath in. Exhale again, gentle twist. Again, keeping the sitting bones nice and level, so not hitching up on one side or anything like that. And then just coming all the way back round to the centre. Let's bring it over onto hands and knees now. So just into a box position. Okay. And then we'll just bring the hands either flat to the floor or come up onto the fingertips if you find flat hurts your wrists. Have the knees a bit wider than the knees, and we're just taking the hips side to side like you're wagging a tail. Heaven forbid. So as you take the hips to the left, we're letting the head turn to the left also, and then just across to the other side. So just getting that nice movement into the lower back, into the neck. There's no wrong way to do this. All right, and then back to center, tucking toes under now. We're going to push the floor away, pressing into finger thumb tips now as we round up through the back. So we're drawing the belly button in towards the spine as you draw the chin in towards the chest. Let's see if we can keep the toes tucked under now as we bring the bottom back to the heels. And then stretch the arms forward. So coming down from there, bringing the forehead to the floor, or if that's a bit out of reach, take your block or cushion or both and just have that underneath the forehead. Of course, if it's not possible to tuck your toes, then don't. You can be back onto the heels with the feet, with the toes stretched out instead. No worries. All right. So while you're here, we'll just take the hands a bit wider than the shoulders and then press the hands down firmly into the floor. So you've got that little bit of traction in between the hands and the ground, making it a little bit more of a focused stretch up into the underarm and around the lateral part of the underarm as well. Okay, and that's going to help us with our downward dog. I'm not doing loads of postures like downward dog tonight, but we will do one just now. So your hands should be okay where they are, but we need to lift the hips and take the feet at least hip width distance apart. And then exhaling as we just push it up and back. So heels sinking down towards the ground as you press into the hands. And really want about 60% of the way back into the legs, so that we're working towards that at least. So the arms are a bit lighter than the legs with regards to weight placement. And then we're just bending one knee and then the other, just getting a little bit of movement into the sacroiliac joints at the back of the pelvis. Good, okay. And then start to see if you can wiggle the shoulders a little bit as well as you move the legs. Okay, one more of those either side. And then we'll just bring it all the way back down from there. Going to just bring the right leg forwards now. If you know it's tricky for you to reach the floor in this low lunge position, have a block or two just underneath the hands. And then I quite like that anyway because I think it makes it easier to breathe. So we've got the legs at 2 right angles. And as we breathe out, we're letting the hips come forwards. And then inhale all the way back, coming up onto the heel as the toes draw back towards the face. And then come forwards. So stretching through and across the pelvis. Coming back, toes lift, just to get into the back of the knee a bit more. As you come forwards now, you could take that a bit further by lifting the knee off the floor. So a little bit stronger, or just keep that knee down. Coming back, we're on the heel of the front foot. Coming forwards, option to lift knee, knee down as we move back, and then one more time coming forwards. Option to lift knee, drop knee, come on back and hold it here this time. So your hamstring, muscle group of hamstrings, attached to your sitting bone. So the tightness of these or mobility of these will really affect the movement you can do with your lower back. And the more functional movement we can do with the lumbar spine, the nicer it's going to feel in there, the better. So we're just getting a stretch into there. All right, and then just bringing that right foot flat to the floor now. So we've got the legs pretty much at right angles. We're bringing right hand onto the lower back, pressing into left hand as we rotate the spine. Okay, and then option just to reach on up with the right arm. So getting that nice big twist in the mid back. And then either staying here or again, just a little bit more challenge, bring that back knee off the floor. It's completely up to you. Okay, knee comes down, hands to the floor. We're taking right leg back. Coming back now into our child's pose. You're going to change it this time, having the feet side by side. So your big toes are touching when you come back, and you're going to feel it a bit more in the calf muscles. So, stretching out through the hands, we lift up and back, heels sinking down. There we go. Oh, feet side by side. I said that and then I didn't do it. Okay, so let's from here bend the knees a little, and that will allow you to draw the tailbone upwards. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, push into the hands a bit more firmly, and then start to straighten the legs out. And with that slightly different position of the pelvis, the tailbone more upwards, that tends to hit the calf muscles quite nicely with regards to stretching them out. Quite strong. I find that really quite strong. Okay, we're bringing the knees down from there. So you can do that all on the other side. Okay, so we've got the left leg forwards now. So we've got two right angles for the legs, something under the hands if you did that on the other side. And we're just starting with a hip flexion and extension. So just moving forwards and back. The muscles that control this movement largely, they attach to the lower back as well. So although we're lunging, still very much affecting the back. Okay, stronger option, maybe lifting that back knee off the floor. As we come back, we're lifting onto the heel. Exhale forwards, option to lift back knee. And again, coming back from there. And again, forwards and lift, down and back. Right, so two more. Remember, it's just an option to lift that back knee. You could keep it down like so. One more. And back, hold it there. Okay, so we're up on the heel, getting into the back of that knee. Those are tendons, ligaments there. It's giving that a good stretch. Okay, and then plant that left foot flat to the floor again. Left hand to lower back as you rotate through the side. Rotate to the side, sorry. Shoulders just drawing down away from the ears. Great. And then lifting back knee off the floor just as an option. We could also reach up from there with the left arm should you want to. Okay, one more breath. And releasing down, just go slowly. Popping the hand down, welcome back, and popping the leg back from there. Okay, let's bring it back into child's pose. If you start to find that too much on the knees, just sit with the legs straight out in front instead, and we'll take a seated forward fold. All right. So next we'll be coming into a posture called Uttanasana. I don't know the English for it actually. But anyway, it's a standing forward bend. So if I show you first, because being in it and turning to look can hurt your neck. So ideally something under the hand. So I've got a couple of blocks there. And then we've just got the feet hip width distance apart, got the tailbone drawing upwards, and then just letting the elbows bend a little bit, possibly as the head relaxes down. It's quite nice to have something under the hand. You don't have to have it, but it's quite nice if you've got it. And you can play around with the height. I sometimes start with them higher up, and then as my body stretches, I might just put them on their lower side. If you're really feeling like you need a big stretch in the back body, you could instead tuck the hands on the inside of the elbows, so then the weight of the arms just creates that traction and space in the lower half of the back. But if you are working with a very stiff back today, you might find that too much. Okay, so always, if in doubt, go less with your spine. I've learned that one the hard way. Okay, hence having this option here with the blocks. So let's work the feet a bit as well. I'm going to spread out the toes. Sometimes I have to, my feet are really stiff sometimes. If I'm wearing shoes a lot, I have to get my hand and spread the toes out manually. So yeah, feel free to do that. Give them a bit of a stretch. They're a bit disobedient, aren't they, toes? And then we're going to press down into the outside edges of the feet. Can't show this on Zoom really. And see if you can get a bit of lift through the insteps. See how that works the inner legs more. It's interesting, isn't it? You might feel a little lighter in the pelvic floor too. Who knows? Okay, could be life-changing. So pressing down to the outside edge of the feet, insteps lift and heads relaxing down. From there, I'm going to make it slightly more challenging by bringing the body weight forward. So a bit more into the balls of the feet. Your heels are still in contact with the floor. And now we're really hitting those hamstrings and maybe a few other parts. Okay, so let's from here bend the knees a little, hands onto thighs as you come up. So just come up real slow, because that is a big stretch for the back body, and your blood pressure will drop as well, being in that forward bend, more than likely. Okay. Or if you're a little hypertensive, it will go up. Depends what you've got going on. Anyway, we come out of forward bend slowly, ideally. Okay. So only a very small amount of standing work, and then we'll get into the bigger stretches for the back, a bit into the shoulders, and then we'll get into some restorative stuff, shenanigans. So let's just come into crescent moon. We'll take a more gentle version of it than the traditional. So feet slightly apart. I've got about width of a hand in between my feet. And then I'm just reaching up and over with the hands, palms of the hands facing up, going to bend the elbows slightly. And just from there, press the tailbone in a touch too. Okay, we're reaching now to the right side, so just fanning out through the right ribs. Okay, and then back to center, and then just simply over to the other side from there. Okay, and then all the way back to center, and then we'll just simply come into tree pose. So we'll just bring hands together, shifting the weight over to the right leg as we lift the left foot up and knee comes out. You can always have toes on the floor. As I always say, you could use a wall or lean into the back of the sofa, etc. And then we're just pressing the hands together lightly, so you feel the elbows lift a little and a bit more engagement into the chest muscles. Allow again the face to relax. If you feel like you want to stretch up and just float the arms up, please do, be my guest. Go ahead. I'm going to stay here. Good. And just, this is a lovely posture to just help settle the breath too, because you have to be still in it in order to balance. So that helps to still the breath as well, I find, or calm the breath rather. Okay, so let's now just release the arms down. We'll just take the weight to the left leg now, picking up the right foot. So knee out to the side. Again, just popping the hands together. Light press in between the hands as you lift up tall through the spine. And then option, of course, to reach the arms up and over, or staying here with me. That's it, lovely. Okay, one more breath. And relaxing all the way back down from there. Well done. Okay, so just popping the foot down and relaxing the arms.